What if I told you, the biggest changes in your life don't come from huge leaps, but tiny habits repeated daily? I am a host from Perfect Me, and today we're breaking down Atomic Habits, the book that's helped millions transform their lives. This isn't just another self-help guide. It's a practical, science-backed manual for making small, incremental improvements that lead to astonishing results over time. Whether you're trying to break a bad habit, build a new one, or just stop procrastinating, this is the ultimate playbook. Atomic Habits bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to be, not with grand gestures, but with a systematic approach to the small things we do every day. You are, quite literally, what you repeatedly do. These tiny routines compound over time to shape your health, wealth, relationships, and identity. Ready? Let's dive into this powerful framework and unlock your potential, one tiny change at a time. Habits are the small decisions you make and actions you perform every single day. They're the automatic behaviors that often fly under the radar. These seemingly minor actions stack up over time, creating a powerful cumulative effect. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. It doesn't sound like much, but if you commit to that 1% improvement consistently, after a year, you'll be nearly 37 times better than when you started. Good habits make time your ally, working for you silently in the background. Bad habits, on the other hand, make time your enemy, slowly eroding your progress and potential. The core idea here is that success isn't about making massive, earth-shattering changes once in a while. It's about committing to small, sustainable improvements consistently. So, how do habits actually work? Every habit, good or bad, follows a simple 4-step pattern: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue is the trigger that tells your brain to initiate a behavior. Cues can be external, like a notification, or internal, like a feeling of boredom. The craving is the motivational force behind every habit. It's the desire that follows the cue, that internal itch that needs scratching. The response is the actual habitual action you perform. Whether a response occurs depends on how motivated you are and how much friction is associated with the behavior. Finally, the response delivers a reward. Rewards satisfy our craving and teach us which actions are worth remembering in the future. If a behavior is insufficient in any of these 4 stages, it will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue, and your habit will never start. Reduce the craving, and you won't experience enough motivation to act. These 4 stages form an endless feedback loop, running automatically to create and strengthen our habits. By manipulating these 4 levers, you're ready to hack your habits and consciously design the behaviors that will lead you to your goals. Alright, now that we understand the habit loop, let's get practical. How do we use this knowledge to build good habits? We need to make our desired behaviors align with the 4 laws of behavior change. The first law is, make it obvious. You can't expect to perform a habit if the cue for it is hidden or unclear. Use implementation intentions and habit stacking to bring the cues for your good habits to the forefront. The second law is, make it attractive. We are more likely to repeat a behavior if we find it appealing or enjoyable. Use temptation bundling and join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. The third law is, make it easy. Human behavior follows the law of least effort. Reduce the friction associated with your good habits. Use the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The fourth and final law for building good habits is, make it satisfying. We are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying. Celebrate small wins and use a habit tracker to enjoy the satisfaction of crossing off an item or seeing a streak build. These 4 laws provide a complete framework for engineering good habits into your life. Each law addresses one stage of the habit loop and offers actionable strategies. By systematically applying these laws, you're not relying on willpower. Instead, you're designing a system that makes good habits the path of least resistance. This proactive approach is far more effective than simply hoping for change or trying to force yourself into new behaviors. It's about working smarter, not just harder, to cultivate the habits that will lead to long-term success and fulfillment. Now let's consider the other side of the coin. Just as we can use the 4 laws to build good habits, we can invert them to break bad ones. The first inversion is, make it invisible. Reduce your exposure to the cue that triggers the bad habit. Out of sight, out of mind. The second inversion is, make it unattractive. Reframe your mindset about the bad habit. Highlight the costs and negative consequences. The third inversion is, make it difficult. Increase friction for bad habits. Make them inconvenient. The fourth and final inversion is, make it unsatisfying. Introduce an immediate cost to the action. Use an accountability partner or create a habit contract. These inversions provide a robust strategy for dismantling unwanted behaviors. By systematically applying these principles, you can weaken the pull of bad habits and make them harder to perform and less appealing to repeat. It's about creating an environment and a mindset where bad habits struggle to survive. Remember, you don't eliminate a bad habit, you replace it, often with a better one that serves a similar underlying need. True behavior change is really identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but the only reason you'll stick with one is that it becomes part of your identity. Stop asking, what do I want to achieve? And instead, start asking, who do I want to become? This shift from outcome-based habits to identity-based habits is profound. When your habits align with your desired identity, they feel less like a chore and more like an expression of who you are. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Focus on proving your new identity to yourself with small wins. Over time, as these small actions accumulate, your self-image begins to change. Your habits become an embodiment of your identity. This creates a powerful feedback loop. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity, in turn, shapes your habits. When your behavior and your identity are fully aligned, you are no longer pursuing behavior change. You are simply acting in accordance with the type of person you believe yourself to be. Decide the type of person you want to be. Then, prove it to yourself with small, consistent wins. This is the path to lasting change. Let's get tactical with some advanced strategies. First, there's the Goldilocks rule. This states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Another powerful tool is habit tracking. The mere act of tracking a behavior can spark the urge to change it. Seeing your progress can be incredibly motivating. But what happens when you inevitably slip up? The key is to never miss twice. If you miss one day, try to get back on track as quickly as possible. We've touched on environment design, but it's worth revisiting. Make your desired actions the most obvious and easy choices in any given environment. Understanding the role of social influence can be a game changer. Surround yourself with people who have the habits you want to cultivate. Finally, patience and persistence are your greatest allies. These strategies aren't quick fixes. They are principles for long-term change. Trust the process, focus on showing up, and remember that small, consistent efforts compound into remarkable results over time. These advanced tactics help ensure your habits stick not just for weeks or months, but for years to come. You commit to a new habit. You put in the work consistently, day in and day out, but you see nothing. This period of apparent stagnation is what I call the valley of disappointment. Many people get discouraged during this phase. They think, I've been eating healthy for a month. Why haven't I lost more weight? But what's really happening is that your efforts are accumulating, like ice forming on a pond. Eventually, those compounded habits break through. This isn't overnight success. It's the delayed reward of all your previous efforts finally manifesting. This breakthrough moment is the result of consistently navigating the plateau of latent potential, pushing through the valley of disappointment without giving up. This is why it's so important to focus on the system, not just the goal. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. The journey of habit formation is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires a long-term perspective. The most powerful outcomes are often delayed. So when you find yourself in that valley of disappointment, remember the plateau of latent potential. Stay patient, trust the process of compounding, and understand that the most significant rewards often lie on the other side of that initial period of unseen progress. Let's recap the Atomic Habits game plan. Habits run on a simple 4-step loop: cue, craving, response, reward. To build good habits that stick, make them obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. To break bad habits, invert these laws. Make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. The foundation of lasting change isn't just about tactics. It's about identity. You are what you repeatedly do. Every action is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Track your progress to stay motivated. Find your flow by working on tasks that are just right, the Goldilocks rule. And stay patient during the inevitable plateau of latent potential. If you got value from this breakdown of Atomic Habits, please smash that like button. Drop a comment below with your favorite takeaway, or a habit you're working on. And of course, subscribe for more deep dives into transformative books like this one. Next up, we're diving into Deep Work by Cal Newport. Until then, stay consistent, stay curious, and keep making those tiny changes. Your future self will thank you for it.